Chillcast MMA. Alright, I'm talking about a fight that's going down February 8th, 2020. This fight is taking place at the Toyota Center in Houston, Texas. It's going to be UFC 247, and I'm talking about heavyweights. Juan Adams, he's taking on Justin Tafa. Adams, he sits at 5-2. Tafa, he's 3-1. And heading into this fight, I gotta be honest right off the bat, I'm not going to try and sell you guys on something that I don't really see. This card is bare. It's the Jon Jones versus Dominic Reyes card, and I can understand from that perspective the UFC thinking, hey, we got the main event, so that's pretty much what guys are going to tune in for, and maybe they're right, but this card, honestly, you got Derek Lewis versus Ilir Latifi opening up the main card. I understand why that fight is there, but it just goes to show you that this card is just, it's just a little bit thin, I gotta be honest with you, and I understand that there are some names inside the MMA bubble that guys can get excited for, but I don't really understand why this fight is so far up on the card. You got Juan Adams again, he's 5-2, and the last two losses in that 5-2, they came recently, so he's on a losing streak. And you look at Justin Tafa, he just lost his last fight, and I gotta be honest, when you just look at these two guys, they're not really in a space where I really understand what the winner of this fight even gets, because you look at Juan Adams, I get it, he's on Twitter, he's doing a lot of like low-level media stuff to help guys out, and he's easy to talk to, and he's accessible. I get all that, and thank God for it. I feel like a lot more fighters need to do that, but obviously I'm going to say that. But at the same time, it's like, I have to question where your focus is, because you go in there against Arjun Butler, you make the talking point wrestling. You did that. And then you have an energy dump and get bullied by a guy that it just looks like you should have done the majority of the bullying against. Greg Hardy, again, you do a lot of talking with a lot of guys, and you put out a lot of interviews with a lot of guys trying to help them out, and then you go out there and get stopped by Greg Hardy when it's like that was an ill-advised shot. It's like you caught him moving backward for a split second, and so you caught his leg, got caught where your head got stuffed, and he put his weight on your back, and he didn't even have a wizard from a good angle. And again, this is Justin Tafa we're talking about, so he has glaring weaknesses as far as, even if you look at the fights that he's won by stoppage, he gets hit a lot on simple stuff, in my opinion. It just feels like, and again, the second he got to the UFC, caught a guy moving backwards, tried to just close that distance recklessly, and he got instantly countered and put down. It was a walk-off. And I don't feel like the Castro has some crazy sense of timing. It's just, again, you can go back and look at his wins. He would get tagged up on the sequences, sort of like how Ronda Rousey did a little bit, and people in hindsight pointed that out when she lost to Holly Holm, but it's like, she got tagged even when she was finishing people, and we saw that with him. The second he tried to close that distance against a guy that was in the UFC, he got stopped immediately. And with Juan Adams, is just like, as far as your wrestling goes, I don't really know, and as far as your striking goes, I don't really know there either. And this just feels like one of those fights where someone's going to get cut if they lose. I don't really know what the benefit, or to try and sit here and sell you guys on what does this mean moving forward. I don't really know, because this is a fight where if you win this one, they're just going to relay a bunch of heavyweight names out there, and they're just going to plug you in, or maybe something on short notice. If Juan Adams can get a win and make it look good, maybe it's something a little bit more high profile, but this doesn't feel like a fight where I can sit here and say, this means a lot for the heavyweight division. We got two hot prospects. I don't really know, because we spent all last year saying that about Juan Adams, and he was on a good campaign, but then to stub your foot twice, and again, it just goes back to these guys, when they make the talking point something and then they lose at it, it just makes it worse. You did a lot of talking about heart and grit and this and that with Greg Hardy. He would put all his weight on the back of your neck, stuffed your head down with a bad whizzer, pounded you out with really just questionable ground and pound, and then afterwards you're moving. Afterwards you're doing all this stomping. You're doing more fighting after the fight than you did in it. And it's just like, I don't understand from that perspective. And then you're fighting a guy that's 3-1, so I don't really know where he's at. And to try and sit here and, oh, he trains with Mark Hunt, trains with Tai Tuivasa, you're not giving him enough credit. I don't really see where he's at either, just because he has such glaring weaknesses. He was winning that fight against De Castro and then just got caught in open space. And I got to think, if that was Ngannou or Derek Lewis or anyone else that's a little bit more savvy, then we're looking at an even more brutal finish. So I don't really know as far as this fight is concerned, but I just got to think the winner of this one, just stay ready and get ready to go again, maybe late spring, early summer. And that's really it. Like I said, I'm not going to try and sell you guys on something, but I do feel like it's interesting just because these guys are in a weird space. Both of these guys are on losing streaks, so what do you do to the loser if he goes out there and face plants again? It's just weird from that perspective, and also this card is a little bit thin, so I guess it says something to that as well. But alright, that's it for this one. You can find me on Twitter at Nixon_speaks. See you guys later on in the week.